Folks, my name is Tommy Murphy, member of Ireland First. I'm just wondering, how the hell did all these women get out today? Our constitution says you're meant to be chained to the sink. I heard that was... Anyway, I just want to formally announce today that I'm running as a candidate in the local election for Cork South Central LEA. This one is going to go for Taoiseach. Okay. I'm also advocating for a no vote in the referendum Friday week, the 8th of March. Right? And I mean, look, Mary Lou MacDonald came out and says it doesn't matter if you say no because they're going to rerun it again anyway until you give the right answer. That should say it all to everyone, right? They're out here pleading for a yes vote from us, yet they've destroyed our country. They have some necks up them, I tell you one thing. Okay, now, history is a fantastic subject. You can learn a lot from history. And people say history repeats itself. Well, I say, yeah, it does. Kind of. It definitely rhymes anyway, you know? And I started reading a book there from a guy called Micheál McSharry. He sent me 2 novels to check out. And when I got to chapter 2, we came straight into a guy called Diarmuid MacMurrough and how he had betrayed Ireland to the Normans, which eventually led to the conquest of the country back in 1169, I believe it was. So, even way back then, we had traitors in Ireland. We had genocide in Ireland, and we had a plantation. And I'm just wondering, are we getting a hint of that again this time? Because like I said, history does tend to rhyme, you know? So I mean, what would treason look like today around the country? Well, I'm not stating the obvious, you know, but I mean, like, would treason look like prioritising migrants over our own people? Would treason look like our government not working for us, but working for organisations like the World Economic Forum, the UN, the EU, everyone but the Irish people? I think that's definitely a hallmark of a traitor, if you ask me, you know? We have the crowd down below, the NGO, the well-funded by the tune of over 6 billion a year down below, right? Advocating for borders for Gaza, borders for Ukraine, but at the same time advocating for the destruction of their own country. I think that's also treason, if you ask me, you know? The crime rate in the country, yes, we have our own criminals, of course we do. We have a lot of politicians in the Dáil. We're also importing criminals, right? And this information, whenever a crime happens, like the stabbing up in Dublin, or your man up in Corbally there in Limerick there the other day, a lot of that gets subdued, gets censored as well. I think that's also treasonous, you know? Sending money around the world to foreign aid now and all that, when we are being robbed blind out of our own pockets every Thursday or Friday when you get paid, you know? Also, trying to destroy agriculture at the moment with this net zero bollocks. Because back in the old days, the old Irish would have known that when they came after their cattle, they were trying to starve them out. It wasn't to save the planet or anything like that, you know? The old Irish were fairly cute. They knew what was going on. We want to start catching up with them, really, you know? Okay. Obviously then, you know, we've the very obvious ones like Simon Coveney, our own Simon Coveney in Cork, one of the traitors extraordinaire, who signed us up to the Migration Pact back in 2018 without consulting anyone in the country. And we're seeing the results of that now today, and it is no sign of stopping. If they get their way anyway, there's no sign of stopping, right? And, you know, ignoring the pleas of the public. Now, personally myself, I'm never going to beg to these guys, right? But I suppose the general public have been begging and pleading with the government to stop what's going on, and they have been absolutely ignored, you know? That to me also, I think, amounts to treason as well. And that's why back in 1939, they came up with a Treason Act in the Constitution, because they know through Irish history that this has happened over and over and over again. And every time there was treason committed, it was followed shortly by genocide and plantation. The exact same thing is happening today. Even the UN definition of genocide, you should check it out. It definitely mirrors what's going on in this country at the moment. But anyway, getting back to the Treason Act of 1939, it initially had a death penalty. No, I'm not for the death penalty. I'm not going to ask you to say out loud what you think about the death penalty. You're okay. Right, but anyway, it now carries a 40-year sentence without the possibility of parole. Right? And I think we have to look beyond, the next few elections, which are also important. But if we ever, God willing, do get into power, we need to start bringing this down on top of these people. 100%, because the country is full of absolute traitors, So that's really all I have to say. Just look, listen, all I'd say, right, is 2024 and 2025 are really important years for elections coming up. And I don't know if it's going to work out in our favour or not, but by God, we need to definitely give it a go, So on that note, I'm going to hand you over to Tia. Okay, come on, Tia. You better take off that mask because we don't like masks around here, but anyway.
Well done.
Hello, people of Cork.
All right, Tia. Yeah, please.
My fellow Irish men and women. I look around me today and I'm a proud Irish woman. Today I want to highlight the discrimination that's going on in the travelling community. The government has paid over 800 grand for animals to come into the country. Now, they're bringing animals in and they're taking our animals from the travelling community. They're pounding them, and when we can't get the animals out, they're being murdered, they're being put in the slaughter and fed to the zoos. I would also like to draw attention to the fact that the councils and the government for years have run the travellings from the side of the roads, closing down halting sites. There's no other alternative when they're ran away from the side of the road. They can't go nowhere. No houses, no nothing. They're treated like animals. Meanwhile, Leo Varadkar has opened the borders to let everybody in. We can't even go inside the door of a pub. We can't even go into a hotel. We're being discriminated left, right and centre. But it's alright for all these to come in there. Like, they can get into the hotels, get everything they want. But meanwhile, us Irish travellers are handed the door and turned away like animals. They're also trying to bring in the hate speech laws. How dare Leo Varadkar talk about discrimination? What about us? We're getting discriminated every day of the week. But Leo Varadkar is crying about what's coming into the country. No passports. Half of the travellers don't even know this is going on. That they're bringing in an invasion in our country. Half of the travellers don't even know what they're doing with the Constitution. Removing the word mother from the Constitution. Where no travellers are for open borders. And also no travellers, if the travellers are watching, please vote no. Because I'm telling you now, they are going to take everything away from you. They've started on the settled community, they've already started on us. Also, we've seen a high level of propaganda towards the settled community, which we witnessed. It's not good. There's been a first attack on a traveller in Rossgreytown. Migrant broke into her home, exposed himself. Nothing was put in the papers, nothing on the news. So now they've started attacking the travellers when they're done with the settled community.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a good idea.
No.
Not a good idea. So everybody vote no, guys. No, okay? Good. Okay, guys. I'm finished now. Who's next?
Brilliant.